Hey guys, welcome to Latrobe. I'm Dejan Kovacevic. He's Chris Halleck. We're from DK Pittsburgh Sports. We're covering Steelers training camp. We're happy to be doing it. I'm happy.
I don't even have words. The training camp's one of my favorite times of the year. This is awesome.
Today marked the second practice of training camp, and it marked the arrival, unofficially, you know what I'm going to say, right? We didn't even talk about it, of Aaron Rodgers. There were passes that were made out there, and it's training camp. I'm going to say the same thing that I did about the interception yesterday. Okay?
Right.
It's training camp, but the passes that were made were made.
They were made, and we were talking about it even during individual drills. Him and I are just kind of going back and forth, being like, the arm is still there, man. Like he slings it out, and it just looks so effortless, and he does it. I don't know. I'm just the same way he's been doing it for 20 years, but. It looked really, really good in team drills today. Quick game looked really good, really crisp. I'm going to say opposite of yesterday, but it definitely looked to be improved today.
We're going to be talking about Broderick Jones in our second segment today. But I want to foreshadow that just a little bit by offering this one little non-story, and that is. They were lining up down the goal line, and you were already down there. And I was kind of hustling to catch up. I'm not as quick. And as I'm getting down there, then I stopped at around the 10 or 15 yard line because I decided that I wanted to watch Brod. Okay, and that's part of why we're here. We're splitting up. We're looking at different things, right? Yep. So Brod lines up at left tackle, which of course he does. Okay, so you have your guys out there. But T.J. Watt's lined up across from him. Okay, so, now T.J.'s moving around. First sign of that in camp, right? Okay, so I'm thinking, all right, I got something here. Here comes. I'm going to scoop Chris Halleck here on this little bit of information, right? So the ball is snapped to Aaron Rodgers, and I'm ready. Here comes a big moment here. Brod gets in front of T.J., TJ no sooner arrives to Brod. Ball's gone, man. Yeah. This is a moot point. Yeah. All of this stuff, and we've been talking about this. You've talked about Rodgers' release time in your painstaking, and I mean painstaking, studies of the 2024 other Jets.
Yeah.
And you look at this in reality. Rodgers made 3 touchdown passes, Chris, and I'll leave those to you.
Yeah.
In rapid succession with a combined release time of maybe 2.5 seconds, if you added them all up.
Yeah, again, there might not be a better quarterback over the course of this era of the NFL, last 25 years or so, in terms of running the quick game.
Those passes.
Than Aaron Rodgers. Those quick outs, those quick hitches, all kinds of these quick game concepts. And it's still there, man. It's catch the snap, it's set the feet and throw. And that requires timing from the receivers. It was good to see DK Metcalf be on the receiving end of that. DK Metcalf not known for being the most detailed route runner in terms of precision and timing and everything like that.
Front left corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
Actually, right where you were standing.
Yeah, I had to get out of the way.
And the timing on that, I mean,
you
had a better view of it than I did. The timing on that was just...
The timing was perfect. The placement was perfect. It was right out.
So was the coverage. I'm sorry. I just have to point that out here. This wasn't it's lazy training camp coverage.
Yeah.
I don't remember who exactly was on him. But
Slay.
Was it Slay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This was pretty significant, I thought, as far as a training camp moment goes.
Yeah, because, again, when you talk about what does Aaron Rodgers still have left in the tank, what can he still do? Can he get rid of the ball quickly? Well, we saw that on the film and in terms of actual data last year. Well, that's showing up here at training camp so far. The arm strength and the quick release, that's showing up at training camp so far. So we'll continue to monitor that. We'll continue to look at it. But so far, early stages, forget the interception yesterday. And honestly, forget about the fact that he went 4 for 4 in the first set of team drills today. Don't count stats. Are not counting stats. We're not saying, hey, he threw 3 touchdowns and 7 shots. Stats don't matter, but what we're looking at is how does the process look? How are these plays being executed?
And the arm.
Yeah.
And the arm.
Yeah.
And, listen, there's a lot of flaws in discussing the first 48 hours of any training camp setting.
Yeah.
But the arm is either there or it isn't. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's not a whole lot of places you can hide from having the arm. And we're seeing that. We also saw it. I feel compelled to add here again from Mason Rudolph. He threw, my goodness, how long was that pass?
Long.
He was trying to hit Lance McCutcheon in some other area code.
Brandon Eccles made a heck of a play.
And it was Eccles and one other. There was somebody else
Chuck
back
Clark,
there.
the brand new safety, the former Raven.
So there were two guys chasing McCutcheon down the field, and Mason put it up. And I swear, the crowd here was like, ah, the whole way the ball's in the air. And then it's Eccles showing that he's a little bit more than just your standard CB4, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when we were talking about before Jalen Ramsey was even added, that Brandon Eccles was going to be a big part of the secondary. And obviously, once you added Jalen Ramsey, his role is going to be decreased, but it's not that by that much. It's not. He will be out there when the defense is in dime. He's going to most likely be the first guy that's out there. There could also be situations, we necessarily haven't seen it yet, but there could be situations in which Jalen Ramsey is lined up as the safety, and you could see Brandon Eccles being out there as well if they're in a base defense or in a nickel or something. I don't know, but Brandon Eccles is a player. He's not on the same level as some of the other guys the Steelers have, but he's still a guy who's going to be able to contribute. I thought he's had a couple first good days of camp so far.
Right. He really has.
Yeah.
And actually everybody has on the defensive side. Let's talk a little bit about that side of the ball. Jalen Ramsey plays for the Steelers. I'm going to process that at some point or other, but then he had himself a pass defensed in the end zone as well, and he plays for the Steelers. I don't have more cogent commentary on that than he's here, and I understand. Listen, I understand he wasn't what he's been in the past, and I understand he's not going to be what we would remember from the Jacksonville playoff game and so forth. Okay,
right.
But this is still somebody who's been a special player in this league. And when you see these guys out there, as they are now, full health, full strength, it's impressive. I'm sorry, it is.
It really, really is. And to see him playing multiple roles again, I think when you talk about what can Jalen Ramsey best be if he is not this on-an-island shutdown corner, it's what he was doing with the Rams in 2021. It was playing all over the place, doing what Raheem Morris is doing. Second play of first-team drills today. I'm not talking about 7 shots. I'm talking about the normal 11 on 11 in the middle of the field. Second play, Jalen Ramsey's blitzing from the nickel. You know, I mean, he's doing a number of things. Yeah, I mean, it's he is. That is what I was more expecting, especially knowing that Mike Tomlin and Raheem Morris are really close and they think football very similarly. So it won't surprise me if the Steelers use Jalen Ramsey in a very similar way as what the Rams did in 21.
One more fun story before break. It's yet another reminder of why you can't take the plays, the completions, all that seriously. Aaron Rodgers drops back, and he's looking for Calvin Austin, and Cal's going deep downfield, and you love to see that, regardless. Well, Cal breaks open, as Cal tends to do. He's faster than most other humans. And Rodgers lets it fly, okay? And Cal runs under it, and he's just gone,
Right
okay?
on the money, right on the money. Yeah.
But I have no idea why I did this. But while Cal's running down the field, I look back in the direction of Rodgers, and there's a guy wearing number 90 going behind Aaron Rodgers and kicking the sky. You know why that is? Because T.J. Watt knew that in a normal game situation, that would have been a sack 100 times out of 100.
Yeah. Now,
and they want you to know it, too.
Now, the good thing is Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to play against T.J. Watt. Like, he doesn't have to play against Alex Highsmith. He has to while they're here at St. Vincent College, but he's not going to be playing against those guys. You sure he's going to be playing against Myles Garrett twice a week or twice a season? He might, if the Bengals can work stuff out, play against Trey Hendrickson twice a season. But
you're not seeing these guys.
There's only one T.J. Watt, and if it is like when we talk about what the offense can do to kind of build off of what we saw in the quick game today. If the offensive line can prove that they can protect for a little longer than this, hey, let's get the ball out really fast on these quick passes. Aaron Rodgers can still stretch the field, but the offensive line does have to be able to provide that protection. How consistently can they do that? It's hard to tell right now because there are no pads.
Yeah, there's no pads, and there's also no release time. I mean, we're not seeing them have to sustain blocks. So, well, speaking of sustaining blocks and speaking of the offensive line, when we come back, Broderick Jones.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
And welcome back to Latrobe, guys. This live episode of Double Shot is brought to you by Dazzle Sports, a premier source for sports memorabilia. From the National Football League to Major League Baseball and everything in between, autographed memorabilia from your favorite athletes, including jerseys, photos, game-used items. You can find cards and other collectibles. Show them some love, all right? They're showing us love here. They're sponsoring the show. And get 20% off your entire order. Use the code DOUBLESHOT, one word, at checkout when you go to www.dazzle-sports.com. Dazzle Sports isn't just a store, it's where sports memories come to life. Chris, this Steelers team isn't going to come to life without a viable, he doesn't even have to be great, a viable Broderick Jones, am I right?
Yeah, it is really, really important for him. The offensive line obviously as a whole needs to play, I'd say even just average, be an average unit. They don't have to be amazing, but I think in order for it to all come together, Broderick Jones does have to be that guy. Like he has to be the guy to take the big step this year, not only for the team, but even for himself, because he's got that fifth-year option looming next offseason. It's a big year for him. We've been talking about it. It's sink or swim. It's do or die. They're going to let him play. I mean, I even got like questions today on our website of people being like, if Broderick Jones doesn't play no, he's playing. Like, they have to see what they have in him.
And they have to see it over 17 games. What you're not going to see is a scenario where Mike Tomlin says, I don't know, at about week 3 or something, we're just going to go with Calvin Anderson here. That's no knock on Calvin, who's an NFL veteran and who's being discussed, by the way, by some of these guys as a real live leader in that room. They don't have a lot of older guys, and Isaac Seumalo is kind of quiet. So I don't know that you could even put him into that bracket. But there's not a fail-safe. There's not a Denver. There's not a parachute to pull him. By Denver, I mean when Brod got in big trouble, 19 consecutive holding penalties, and he's like, all right, well, here you, Troy Fautanu, other first-round pick, go get him.
Yeah, and Troy Fautanu, to his credit, did really well, and I made it a point to ask Broderick Jones before practice today about not just having, I understand Troy only played one game, but how important is it to have the continuity from last season, to have no major additions. It's a lot of the same guys. Zach Frazier, Mason McCormick, Troy, all those guys. And I asked him that earlier today.
I know Troy was only out there for one game last year, but does it help having pretty much the same guys that you had last year, being able to have that continuity together?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because I feel like we've just been building and we just got to continue to build. Those guys that I have on the line with me, they're great. If I need questions, if they have something that we're trying to figure out all together, I feel like we have a good enough bond to where we can have those tough conversations if we have to, or if not, just have the good camaraderie in the room. So
Brod's a funny dude. Brod, he never lets you see when he's sweating, does he?
No, no. But a lot of these offensive linemen, and not just the offensive linemen, but a lot of these players, like Jalen Ramsey even, like yesterday, like they wear hoodies underneath their stuff. And like Broderick, and he even talked about it today, like he is purposely, like this is not team mandated, purposely dropped a lot of weight to make himself more athletic. And it's like, if I need to add more poundage, you need to add more weight, then I will. But he's wanting to come in lighter. That way he can then adjust instead of coming in heavy, then having to lose weight, then possibly put it back on instead of having to worry about that whole process. It's different. It's his own approach to it. Again, the team didn't have him do it. And I just wonder, first day wasn't all that great. Alex Highsmith, great edge rusher, but beat him pretty cleanly without even any kind of competition whatsoever. But I want to see Brod do a little bit more, even at this stage of training camp.
The thing with Brod is that he's such a natural physical specimen. He reminds me and has reminded me from day one, a lot of Chuks Okorafor. Unfortunately, he's also reminded me of Chuks in some of the negative ways as well, because Chuks is a guy who had issues with finishing his blocks. And to me, when I think of Chuks, I think of a guy who was just able to get away with whatever at every level of football until he got to the NFL. And Brod does some of the same. You'll see that initial push is a good one. It's a strong one because he is strong, because he has all that natural framework and strength that you need.
He's
at that
a prototypical
position.
left tackle with his size and build and everything. Yeah.
Born to be that position. However, there is technique involved and there is finish involved. The one thing, I'm not going to lie to you, Chris, I've never really gotten my own handle on whether it's, in Brod's case, more about the technique or more about the finish, or if it's actually just some kind of mix of both.
From what I understand and this is not just my own evaluation, because I don't want to just give you my opinion. My opinion means almost nothing. But from people that I've talked to, it is more about his technique, especially in pass protection. It was something that even coming out of college, they knew it was raw talent that they had, that they were going to have to mold him a bit. You know, they knew more accomplished as a run blocker, was going to need more work in the pass pro game, and it's shown. I mean, even again, early impressions of training camp, but I still need to see more in terms of the pass pro stuff. Now, granted, pads aren't even on yet, so let's see what happens when pads are finally thrown on. But that's the one thing that I'm really, because I think the run blocking part of it isn't as big of a concern.
You're just shoving.
Yeah.
You're just pushing people down the field.
And he has put, even in his second year, even in that Denver game, I remember specifically, there was one time where he was supposed to help double team and then go to the second level. And not only did he double team the guy, he blew the guy up and then went to go to the second level. And so it's like, it's there. Like, it's absolutely there. It's not like you don't have to. No, he's put it on tape. It's just finding the consistency in that, and then obviously growing as a pass pro, because you got a 41-year-old quarterback you got to protect. The pass pro has to develop this year.
You know, and just to show that we're equal opportunity critics, cynics, skeptics, whatever you want to call us, and I'm sure we've been called worse. When it comes to the offensive line, it's not just about Brod.
No.
I could even, it pains me to do this, but include Zach Frazier and say, listen, this is his year too.
Yeah.
We thought Brod was solved after 1 year. He wasn't.
Right.
Okay, people find stuff out. Okay, they study film on you. Now they've got 17 plus games of film. They can go at you. My goodness, the line is so young. And I'm saying that now, but especially because with Isaac out for the early part of camp, you're also seeing
Spencer
Anderson out there. And you're talking about just children the whole way across.
Yeah.
Mason McCormick is coming off of a rookie season in which he allowed only 2 sacks, which sounds really good. He didn't always grade well overall.
No. But again, think of the context of that. It's not like he was Zach Frazier, this prized second-round pick coming in, and no, he was a 4th-round pick out of South Dakota State, and there was never a plan for him to get meaningful snaps as a rookie because they had James Daniels at right guard, and that was going to be the guy that he was going to help learn behind. James Daniels' Achilles completely explodes, and then, well, Mason, there he goes, sink or swim.
They're good. Trial by fire.
Yeah, no joke.
And you know, continuing across, let's not forget about Troy Fautanu. I know we've both had talks with him here at camp. Mine was yesterday, and I can tell you that in Troy's case, wow, he's just so happy to be on the field. I'd love to see that. Part of the reason I love the kid is he comes across as so spiritual. Do you know what I mean? You can see he's wearing his joy on his sleeve. But he has to stay out there.
Yeah.
Okay? He has to become a fixture out there. He knows that. He understands that. He told me that I've never appreciated the game of football and my passion for football the way I do now after having it taken away from me for a year in the middle of an NFL season. He can't wait to get going, maybe more than anybody else on this roster. And at the same time, he has to perform. They were 55 wonderful snaps in Denver. but they don't count at all toward this season. He has the talent, though. He really does.
Yeah, it's so easy to just say he's going to be this easy, like, oh, well, Broderick's moving over to the left side, so we can just put Troy over there and right tackle's taken care of. No, it's not that simple. But yes, you have a little bit of NFL film to look at. It looks really good. And now he has, the good thing is he comes in, even at mandatory minicamp, no restrictions. He comes into training camp, no restrictions. It's getting back to football. And he even talked about it on reporting day, saying how much it meant and how hard the adjustment's been, that of the entire rehab process of getting back to playing football again. And so that makes this camp very, very important for him, and the preseason very important for him, because not just getting out of here healthy, but ramping up and really being able to be the guy for an entire season at right tackle on a very, very young line.
The thing that I have to offer about the offensive line that and no one will want to hear, but this is based on years of covering these guys, years of talking to them, including when the Steelers had the great group that they had over the previous decade. And that is this. The first thing that needs to happen is that they need to get their own games together individually.
Yeah.
And then from there, they need to get their individual games together. This will not happen quickly. Yeah. It just won't. And that's going to frustrate people, especially those who early on want to see the Steelers do a lot of passing. That's why I believe, Chris, I actually don't know how you feel about this. That's why I believe you're going to see a lot of running, an inordinate amount of running early on. That buys not only Aaron Rodgers and everybody else some time to get accustomed to, routes and stuff like that, but also these guys, because as we just discussed, they need to run. I mean, the offensive line guys need to run.
If you want to see how an offense looks with a 40 and 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers having to throw the ball the second most amount of times in the NFL, go back and watch the 2024 Jets.
You're going to see a lot of losses.
And I can tell you right now, it's not going to go well. That's not where Aaron Rodgers is in his career. And even then, the last time he won an MVP, the Packers were smack dab in the middle of the league in rushing attempts. Like, it's not like they didn't, where he was getting back there and chucking it around like the way he did last year with the Jets. We're talking, I think he was like 12th in the league in pass attempts that year he last won MVP. This team needs to run the football no matter what. They just have to. And so that obviously does mean the offensive line has to pave ways for Caleb Johnson and for Jalen Warren and for Kenneth Gainwell.
Yes.
And the good thing is, early impressions are those running backs are finding holes. Now, I'll say it again, pads aren't on yet.
No.
But
Tuesday.
Yeah, but we'll see where it goes, but early impressions are that these are running backs that know how to find holes in this scheme. We'll see how it continues to develop here at camp.
Guys, we love you. We appreciate you. We'll be back with another double shot of Steelers live from Latrobe. We're going to be doing this all through camp, whether anybody likes it or not, right?
Oh, yeah.
Join us as a member, dkps.net/join. We're trying to get to 3,000. We've had a nice little bit of a surge early on in camp. We appreciate you going along with us and a couple of changes that we've made in the format here. We're just trying to get you the best quality and the best show that we can.
Yeah, I mean, we do this because we want to not only get the stuff out on our website, but get it out as everywhere we can. And this YouTube channel is continuing to grow, and we want to give you guys everything that we possibly get from back there on those fields here at St. Vincent College, and it's a fun time. I really enjoy this time of year.
He loves it. So do I, actually. This never gets old for me here. We'll see you guys next time.